Be an analyst for a second. Does it feel like a red wave?
It feels like a red wave, Brian.
You know, your predictions of a red wave are accurate.
So I made a surfboard, said the red wave is coming.
Red wave rising. That red wave that I'm convinced is coming.
The reports I'm seeing show a big red wave coming.
Sleepy Joe just guaranteed a red wave in Pennsylvania.
There's a lot of energy on the ground. You probably hear the rally in the background right now. We think we're going to have a big red wave in Michigan.
Wow.
Democrats are bracing for the worst case scenario, a red tsunami.
We are officially on a red tsunami watch.
Sean, we're going to see a red tsunami. Red tsunami grows.
That means red tsunami.
And we're not just going to see a red wave. We're going to see a red tsunami.
Poverty, joblessness, critical race theory, crazy gender ideology in our schools. We are going to see a red tsunami.
And lastly, your prediction for tonight.
I think we're going to have a red wave. I think it's going to be maybe bigger than anyone thought.
On Tuesday, we will be part of a big red wave that says enough is enough.
Up next, Elon Musk ready to ride the big red wave.
Elon Musk tweeted massive red wave.
Massive red wave.
Massive red wave.
Massive red wave.
You're about to see a red wave that makes day after tomorrow look like nothing.
That's going to be responsible for the red wave. I think the red wave that's coming is going to be like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining.
Rogan said that the red wave is going to look like the elevator doors opening and the blood pouring out of the elevator in The Shining.
Like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining.
That is correct, except it's not going to be an elevator. It's going to look more like Deep Impact, the tsunami at the end, but colored red.
Remember that Teo Leone Deep Impact disaster movie? That's the red wave tsunami that'll come ashore.
It's going to be a brutal week for the Democrats beginning on Tuesday.
And frankly, I've already DVR'd CNN and MSNBC for election night, not because I'm going to watch, but just because I want to enjoy the tears post-red tsunami.
What happened to the red wave, Congresswoman?
Well. Hello, welcome everybody, one and all. Good evening. Today is Thursday, November 10th, 2022. I am your host, James Fauntleroy. Welcome to the Jaybefaunt channel. So good to see all of you on this atypical Thursday evening. Yes, I am live on my channel on Thursday evening. Jaybefaunt show is also available on all major podcast platforms like Anchor, Apple, and Spotify podcasts, and also on Google Podcasts, so you can subscribe to me there. I'm also part of the Revolutionary Blackout Network, so you can find me on the JB Show on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, on RBN Live on Tuesdays at 4, and typically on the Sabby and JB Show on Thursdays at 6, except for tonight. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and thank you to all the patrons on Patreon, Coffee, people who send me mutual aid. For without you guys, I would not be able to do this, and I deeply appreciate it from the top and bottom of my heart. And thank you to all the members as well as subscribers for tuning in. We're live here on YouTube, Twitter, and Rockfin. So good to see all of you here today. Why did I show that at the outset? It's not hard for me to admit, because I was taught all your life you have to be humble. So, anybody recording this that's watching, I was wrong. I was wrong. But JB, what were you wrong about? I said that I thought that a red wave was coming, but not in the gleeful hopes that these right-wingers were saying. I was saying it because I was looking at the tea leaves of how poorly and how feckless the Democratic Party was operating. So I saw the way they handled everything oh shit, yeah, y'all screwed. Y'all screwed yourselves, right? So that's where I was coming from. I wasn't coming from an angle where I was hoping that a red wave would happen. No, I wasn't coming from the angle that I hope a blue wave was happening, because I know that the Democrats are shit too. I was just calling balls and strikes, and I thought that a red wave was coming. But it didn't happen. May have been a red trickle, but red wave, nah, didn't happen. This is why you have some people in the Democratic side going, "Oh, where was that red wave you're talking about?" But the thing is that the Republicans were thinking, we're so good that a red wave is going to happen. No, you're not. You're shit too. Sit down. So that's what I want to say. I miscalculated. Yes. About some things. I did. But other things I didn't miscalculate. And we can talk about some of those things too. Also, for this evening, I'm also going to talk about some of the wins and losses regarding ballot initiatives, because those are also important too. And also some victories that have happened, some small victories that we can actually look forward to as far as this democracy we have. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay. Now, just want to say hello to everybody that is in the chat. As typical per usual, I want to say hello to all of you. So first off, if you have not given a like yet, please make sure to like the stream. Hello to Little. Little's in the chat says, Jaybefaunt, those guys up in the road look like trouble. I'm going to pop the trunk so you can grab the man liquor. Man, I wish this was a bottle of liquor. I'd be like, man liquor, you know what I'm saying? Hey. I got a little bit of tea here but left from the reading, but that's neither here nor there. But good to see you, Little. Miguel is also in the chat. So good to see you. AG is also in the chat. All right. Cool Blue is in the chat saying, hey, everyone. Arif saying third-party suppression. Yes, I'm going to talk about that too. Stay tuned, Arif. Stay tuned, okay? Yepek says, uh-oh, JB is live again. Expect some innuendo. And you out, though. Let me stop. Gary says, number one conspiracy theory of the midterms, drum roll, is that Roe v. Wade was purposely overturned by SCOTUS to give Walking Dead Democrats something to run with. That's interesting. Let me start this. Let me come back to this a little bit later. Gary, let's talk about that. Steven says, hey, comrades. CBC voter is also in the chat saying, hello, Thursday at JB. JM, who is also a JB member for the Super Sticker, thank you so very much. Also, Bling Girl, bling, bling, is in the chat. Whew, red trickles. That's what it is. Wadi is in the chat saying, hey, everybody. Good to see you, Wadi. Gamer and Ganja is in the chat saying hello. Soul Construct is up in the house going, LOL. That's what we like. We like some laughter. Sebastiano says, eruptions. All right. See, hold up. For some reason, I don't know, I see Santa Claus hats. I don't know. For some reason I do. But it's not. It's volcanoes erupting. I guess I see what I want to see. Jingle bells. John A says, pretty sure Elon voted for Trump, so I don't think that's his first time. Well, who knows? Elon votes for whoever will keep the most money in his pocket. All right. Bad Cookies says there was a red wave, but it was like a tiny waves that didn't even break the water line. Yep, this is one of the reasons why I had to come and talk about how wrong I was. Moused it says, okay, but didn't the Republicans take the House and Senate? What am I missing here? Let's talk about that. We'll get into that a little bit. And we'll get into the details a little bit here. Sean Miller says, red wave in a kiddie pool. Yeah. Pitter patters, baby. Pitter patters. All right. Anybody else that we have in the chat that I didn't get to say hello to? Indigo Let. So good to see it, Indigo. Says Pensacola has about 5 foot waves. That is about what it was on. Oh, yeah, definitely, Indigo. Good to see you, Indigo. All right. Homie. Cat Terrell is in the chat. What in the hell is in my eye? Goodness gracious, I hate that. Says, some states still cheating. Yup. Hey, Brandy Weaver, so good to see you in the chat too. All right. Ilhan R says, I can feel that red wave, JB. Oh, yes, let it splash all over your body, baby. Red wave, hit me. Reminds me of Def Comedy Jam when when oh my god, when Bernie Mac was like, hit me. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all remember that? Remember on oh well. I was just gonna say remember on why am I thinking of Comic View? Def Comedy Jam. Gosh. Remember now on Def Comedy Jam? That was hilarious. All right. The Jam on 93 said Sims didn't win. Neither did the working people, but we'll talk about that a little bit more too. Hunter, so we can talk about chocolate wave. All right, people. So good to see anybody. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Yipper. Kings of Comedy. Yeah, no, this was way before the Kings of Comedy. This was back when Bernie Mac was doing his act on Def Comedy Jam. But yeah, good guess though. Good guess. All right. I am Lux says, hello, peeps. So good to see everybody. Radical Nation also in the chat says, don't forget over 1 million ex-cons intimidated by DeSantis. He's no political genius, just a bully. Amen. Okay. So a lot of what happened on Tuesday, I was predicting a red wave. And if you guys were watching my stream on Tuesday, and this was before the polls closed on Tuesday, I actually put up a poll. And I put up a poll, is it going to be a red wave, a blue wave, or is it going to be neither? And so about a quarter of you said it was going to be neither. And a quarter of you were correct. But I think it was like 73% thought it was going to be a red wave. How many of you thought it was actually going to be a red wave? Because I literally thought it was going to be that, because based on the failure of the Democratic Party. And because of that, I'm thinking, well, wow, okay. That, they were just going to hand it off. But what ended up happening was different. And really, does a wave literally have to happen? Does it? According to the oligarch, okay, I'll put it to you this way. In my eyes, a wave did not have to happen because Goldman Sachs still won. Raytheon still won. Northrop Grumman still won. Amazon still won. SpaceX and Tesla still won. Lockheed Martin still won. Honeywell still won. Bank of America still won. JP Morgan still won. General Electric still won. Warner Brothers still won. Universal still won. Disney still won. Who lost? You and you and you and you and you and me. All y'all lost. All y'all lost. Many victories here and there, yeah. But overall, all y'all lost. We all did. Because ultimately, who really were the people that won? Who did they really win for? Maxwell Alejandro Frost, who won in my district, turned from being pro-Palestine on the left to being a Zionist. What win? What? John Fetterman, who decided to take a shotgun and point it into the chest of a black man because he was running through the neighborhood because he wanted to protect his neighborhood, even though the black man was completely innocent. John Fetterman won. I predicted that Oz would win. I literally thought Oz was going to win. That's how shitty I thought Fetterman was. Fetterman won. But Fetterman's also a Zionist. Did Pennsylvania really win? The fact that Warnock came this close to losing to Walker, really? That was a loss. Even though Warnock won, there were so many people that were willing to put in Walker that if I were Warnock, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed right now. Dude, you're an incumbent? An incumbent. And Walker got within striking distance? For real? For real, bro? Nah. So the whole thing, you know, and when you take it in retrospect, and when I say we lost, I'm not just talking about us. I'm talking about the Yemenis lost, the Palestinians lost, the Haitian people lost, the Iraqis lost, the Iranians lost, the Afghan people lost. Hell, the Ukrainian people lost, the ones that aren't part of the Azov battalion. Unfortunately, some Russians lost. People in the global south, people in the African countries, they lost. People who have countries that are occupied by military bases all over the world and the United States lost. So that's where I'm coming at it from. That's the angle that I'm looking at it from. And so the whole thing about the red wave happening, I was wrong. But the thing is that we also have to be willing to admit when we're wrong. You know? But yeah. Let's go to the chat just for a second. Back Cookie says, Cali didn't even allow a third option. It was either red or blue, no other option. Yeah. In fact, while we're here, I'm going to put your comment back up, Back Cookies. While we're at it, on RBN on Tuesday, when we were talking about our guesstimations really for what was going to happen during the midterms, I made an observation that when you go to a lot of the corporate media, and also Savvy was covering this on election night as well, when she was switching between different corporate networks for their election coverage, whether it was Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, what have you. If you noticed, you saw red and blue, but you never saw any yellow or green. You saw no actual third or independent parties at all. All the ones that you saw were of just Democrat and Republican. Like, for instance, they literally showed the governor's race in Texas, and they showed Abbott and O'Rourke, Robert O'Rourke, but they did not show Delilah Barrios at all. Even though Delilah Barrios was a third party, Green Party gubernatorial candidate, they didn't show her at all. Why? Because they didn't want you to even know she was running. In North Carolina, they showed the running for Senate. They showed the Democrat, they showed the Republican, but they did not even give a damn to show you Matthew Ho's name in North Carolina that was running for Senate. Peep the game. And here's how the game is, okay? Even on election day, propaganda is being pushed into your face. I'm going to tell you why and how. Because you may be looking at the results before you go out and vote. So then you're seeing, some people may see, oh, well, those are the only options, because that's where they get a lot of their information from. Never mind looking at your actual ballot. Never mind actually looking at your actual ballot. And then you look and you see, oh, what's that third and fourth and fifth name on there? Where are they? Even though they didn't win, the fairness in showing their names should have been there. But they didn't. Why? Because they didn't even want you to know that the third option was there. And that's how it works. That's what they didn't do. And so when it comes to third-party options or independent options, they will never show you. This is why research has to be done prior to, in order to know who's who. This is why people like myself and Savvy and many other independent media channels, we actually have to put on third-party candidates and independent candidates in order for you to know who's running and what they stand for. Because people are sick and tired of the Democratic and Republican parties, the Demo-Republican parties, as I like to call them, because they don't actually work for you or I. And then on top of it, and I missed this opportunity because I just didn't start doing it like I wanted to, plus dialysis and things like that. But one thing that Savvy was doing, which I will do, in the next election, just so that people are up to speed on what's going on, is she was actually going over the ballot initiative questions for her state. Were there ballot initiative questions for my state? Yes. Did I go over them? No, because number one, I was late to do that. Number two, I didn't have the time, and I didn't take the time in order to go over them like I should have. So that's my bad. Okay. But at the same time, there were some ballot initiatives that came and went through. Some were victorious, some were not. Some had some great outcomes, and there were some victories. But let's go over, actually, let me continue some of the comments in the chat, and then I want to go over some of the victories in the races and some of the defeats as well. John H says, yeah, creating problems in order to be a hero to solve them. Same old. Yeah. And a lot of times that's exactly what the Democratic and Republican parties do, is that they create a problem and then they say, yay, look at what we did. For instance, creating the problem, not codifying Roe v. Wade into law. Then they create the problem by allowing the Republican-controlled Supreme Court to overturn it, right? So then the Democratic Party can come in and be like, oh, we're going to be the heroes. We're going to save Roe v. Wade, even though they left it out there in order. Look, this is the equivalent of remember the movie Hitch? Remember in the beginning where the guy takes her dog, right? And then he goes out into the street, calls a car to come over. He goes over, then stops. Then lays down on the ground with the dog. Then you hear a beep. And then the woman comes over. She's like, oh my goodness. Like he just saved the dog. Bro, that's what the Democrats do. They make it seem like, oh, well, we actually saved you, when in reality, they actually made the conditions to make you think that they're actually the savior, when really they put you in the tight spot that you're in right now. And so here's the thing. Just like if you guys ever watched the Michael Moore documentary, Sicko, there is no money, there is no profit in actually curing the ailment, curing the disease, curing the problem. There is money in treating the problem. You don't think that doesn't apply to society's ills? There are millions of people that die every single year because they do not have health care or they're underinsured. If we were to truly rectify and correct and cure that societal ailment, the Democrats can no longer run on health care. If we truly rectified the societal ill of education by, number one, canceling all student debt, two, making college and universities and vocational trade schools tuition free, then guess what? That would take away the means to campaign on that. Another thing that would also take away is the means to recruit people into going into the military. Housing. A housing first and a housing for all approach that would literally get rid of homelessness, period. But if you cure that societal ailment, that takes away their fundraising. Codifying Roe v. Wade gets rid of the fundraising tool to say, oh, we will codify Roe v. Wade into law, when they don't do it. It's a fundraising tool. You don't think they're not going to do the same thing for gay marriage? Hell, they may even do it for interracial marriage. If they're dirty enough to do that and play with the lives of women and people with uteruses, what makes you think they're not going to do it with the rest of us? Nothing is sacred to them. So that's the thing that a lot of people just really need to peep the game about. Anything and everything that you are sitting there going, man, this is on the ballot. We got to vote for this part. No. It was never actually on the ballot. It's only so that you will think and then go to their Act Blue and then donate $27. Or if you're talking about, for instance, the police or the border security, or you know what the right does? They do a lot of culture war stuff. Then you're going to donate to them and then fundraise for them. It's just a fundraising game, baby. That's all it is. They got that. They got that on lock. Fundraise for us. Ooh, the bad Democrats. Fundraise for us. Ooh, the evil Republicans. And then they just keep the money going. That's all it is. That's all it has been for quite a long time. So yes, as John H. just said, creating problems in order to be a hero to solve them. It's a grift. It's been a grift for a long ass time. And a lot of people are just now waking up to it. And thankfully, a lot of people are waking up to it. Good to see you, Andrew Miller. Nice to have you in the chat. Bad Cookies says, the Dems have the excuse that they can't do shit because of neocon obstruction. The cycle continues until we forget that the seats swing back. It's all a game and we're left out of the game. Yeah, and so that's the thing. Neocons are in the Democratic and Republican parties. Don't forget that. Oh boy. Gary says, number 3 midterm conspiracy theory. The attack on Paul Pelosi was a national security psyop, much like the proverbial glitch in the matrix. It was an indication something was changed. That's interesting. That's an interesting theory. I would like to I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, actually. Okay. Wait, hang on. I saw a comment. Where's your comment go? Wait, where'd it go? Urgh! I saw it. I seen it. Hang on. Dang it. I think it's gone. Hang on. Let me keep going. Keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. JB, where'd it go? I saw your name. Gosh. Oh, here we go. Reality Revolution, who's also a JB member, says ruling class always wins. Yeah, the House always wins. That's basically what it is. All right. So, oh boy. So, let's go to hang on. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh. Gosh. So there is a runoff election between Warnock and Walker. The fact that it went to a runoff is sad, in my opinion. I really just don't know what to say. Like, it's just wild. And of course, Brian Kemp won in Georgia against Stacey Abrams. Now, gosh, Stacey Abrams basically said that all this will fall on to black men. That the power's in our hands to make sure that Stacey Abrams won. The funny part, though, is that black men actually turned out for Stacey Abrams. Let me make sure I get this. Black men turned out for Stacey Abrams. Maybe not as high as we typically do, but it was still pretty high. Let me get that up. Perfection. God, I love my people. Hang on. Let me enlarge that. Okay. Let's share the screen. Hang on. Come on. Okay, share the screen. Let's share my screen. Savvy! Come in with the assist. Okay. So Savvy, my homie, my sister from another mister, she said, in the end, Stacey Abrams didn't lose because of black male voters. She lost because white voters didn't support her. Is she going to blame them like she did black men? And let's take a look. Boom. Sex by race. White men, only 23% of white men and 27% of white women, Democratic voters, voted for Stacey Abrams. Compared to black men at 84% and black women at 93%. So guess what? The ball was dropped by white Democratic voters. Black people showed out, right? As far as the ratio, white men were 31% of the Democratic vote. White women were 30% of the Democratic vote, but only 23% of Democratic voters were white men. It's crazy. So, yeah, even though Stacey Abrams said that, oh, it's going to be on the hands of black men, well, black men showed up. What say you, Stacey? What are you going to say now? And what did I say? I said that basically, are you going to continue to blame us if you lose? Are we going to be to blame? Because the facts show out that we did what we do. Well, not me, but because I don't really care. But at the same time, a lot of people just didn't show up. A lot of people who are white didn't show up for her. I'm trying to find my tweet. I don't know why I didn't put it up here earlier. I should have did that. Oh well. Man, I tweet a lot. Okay. All right, boom, here we go. Let me share my screen here. Here's what I said. I said, y'all gonna blame us black men for your loss now? If y'all actually have policies that appeal to us and you fought for them while in office, we turn out for you. But you didn't, so we gave you the same energy you gave us. Nothing. And so that's the thing. If you're not giving us anything, then why should we give you anything at all? And this is the exact same sentiment across many different groups, especially disenfranchised groups. And the thing is, we're waking up. Stacey Abrams should not be surprised. Like, the fact that black men still turned out for Stacey Abrams, despite what she has done in the past, like endorsing Michael Bloomberg for president in 2020, Mr. Stop and Frisk, she decided to endorse him. To be honest with you, if a ton of black men decided not to vote for her based on that, if a ton of black people decide not to vote for her based on that, I understand. Is she really for her own people? Look, remember this phrase: not all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? So that's the thing when it comes to people like Stacey Abrams. Like, you should remember that. So, of course, she lost. In my home state of Florida, of course, Crist lost. Charlie Crist lost comfortably against Ron DeSantis, or as some of us say, Death Santis. So that's what happened. Let's go to actually, let me show these results really quick. Okay. So if you guys can see here, Brian Kemp in Georgia got 53.4% of the vote versus Stacey Abrams got 45.8%. So that's a pretty decent victory, all things considered. Let's go to the Senate. Senate is Warnock and Walker. They have to go to a runoff. So it's less than 1% difference between them. Warnock should be embarrassed. I'd be hella embarrassed if I was Warnock right now, especially since you are an incumbent. Let's look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Fetterman won with 50.9% to Mehmet Oz's 46.7%. Now, the only thing, though, is that's still too close for comfort. Yes, it's in the Rust Belt, but at the same time, John Fetterman was touted as the progressive, but there's nothing progressive about him. And in fact, he even said that he does not want to be seen as progressive. But yet, look at the numbers. Let's go to my home state, Florida. Florida, Marco Rubio won. Marco Rubio won comfortably. And I said, this is one of the predictions that I had that I was correct about. I said that Marco Rubio would win comfortably. And the fact that he did just showed I was correct. This was one thing that I was right about. And now Val Demings is out. Val Demings, who was my congressperson, I live in her district. There's nothing tangible that has been improved in our district at all. So, of course, she lost. Another thing is Val Demings is a cop. Let me give you a little bit of a history about Val Demings. Val Demings was the chief of police for the Orlando Police Department. Chief of police. At the same time that she became chief of police, her husband, Jerry Demings, was elected the sheriff of Orange County. Orlando is in Orange County. So basically, as far as Orlando, Orange County, basically the Central Florida area, they were a power couple in law enforcement. They were the power couple. Meaning that Val Demings and Jerry Demings, as a married couple, ran law enforcement in Orlando and Orange County. They, as a couple, ran law enforcement. And then, at the same time, Jerry Demings ran for Orange County mayor, and Val Demings decided to run for U.S. House in my district. She won, and in that same election cycle, her husband, Jerry Demings, won the election for mayor of Orange County. So for the last 2 years, Jerry Demings was the mayor of Orange County here in Florida, and Val Demings was the representative of my district in Orange County. Conflict of interest, anyone? So, as we say in the black community, she was smelling herself. So she said, you know what, I'm going to run for Senate against Marco Rubio in a red state. So she ran. And look, almost 20 damn points ahead. 15 plus points loss against Marco Rubio. Like, ma'am, bye. And she's a cop. What's the difference really between her and Marco Rubio? Not much. So, yeah. Texas. Oh, wait, what happened? Let me go to governor. So Greg Abbott kicked Beto O'Rourke's ass. Lord and Lord. Beto. No bueno, Beto. No bueno. So that's what happened. But other than that, we have to go to the victories, right? Because he sucked. So let's go to the victories. So hang on, before I go there. Bad Cookie says, that's right, JB. Less than 1% is why you get a runoff with Herschel Bloody Walker for shame on you Dems. Yeah. Cool Blue says, what county are you? I'm in Orange County. You're in Wayne County, Michigan, which is county seat Detroit. Okay, yeah. So I'm in Orange County. So my county mayor is Jerry Demings. So no matter how I look, I'm still under the jurisdiction of a Demings. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in Orlando. Cool Blue says Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio both flipped Miami-Dade County. DeSantis also flipped Palm Beach County. DeSantis won with 59% and Rubio 57% statewide vote. Mousestead says, where my parents live and the police and fire chiefs were brothers. Turned out they were running an arson ring for decades. Damn. Woo. Nasty. Welch's Grape says, tens of thousands of rich people have moved to Miami since the pandemic. Now they all work from home. Yeah. I've never been to, you know what? Little known fact, I've never been to Miami. I lived in Florida for God knows how long, and I've never been to Miami. I'm originally from New Jersey, by the way. Crazy. Soul Construct says gerrymandering has got to go. The thing is that gerrymandering basically is good for the oligarchs, and it's never going to go until something more drastic happens. What that drastic thing is, I can't say on YouTube. Yeah, Creative Experiment says lots of Republicans were motivated to vote. Yeah, primarily because of culture war issues. That's primarily what it is. Like, for instance, they'll sit here and talk about, grooming because some drag queen is reading a book to a bunch of kids. I'd rather a drag queen read a book to a bunch of kids than a clergyman for obvious reasons. You know, they'll talk about all the bathroom stuff. Like, they always talk about all this culture war stuff, and they fearmonger. If it's not blacks, it's Latinos or people from, our southern border. If it's not, Latinos and people from our southern border, then it's going to be Muslims. If it's not Muslims, then it's going to be the gays. If it's not the gays, then it's going to be the trans people. If it's not the trans people, then it's going to be some other marginalized group that gets blamed for shit that they have no power over. And this is how they operate, because then the people who fall for it will always blame somebody who has no power, wherein they always give praise to the people who have all the power but are running out the back door with all the money. And so there are a bunch of people who consider themselves right-wingers or conservatives that fall for the okie doke every single goddamn time because they always believe the BS of, this person's the reason why you don't have jobs, and this person's is putting your kids in danger, despite it's y'all own family members, and a lot of them are heterosexual that are putting your family members in danger. And on top of it, they're going to try to take your guns. And the funny thing is, who's the ones who are coming to take the guns of the people that they say they don't want to take their guns away? Would it be the people in blue? And on top of it, they're talking about, I don't want y'all to tread on my rights and don't tread on me and blah, blah, blah. And yet y'all sit here with a dumbass face looking at us black people getting our Second Amendment rights revoked each and every single time. Our Second Amendment rights are constantly trampled on. But because it's us, because We have the skin color. Oh, we must deserve it, right? Even though we actually didn't do anything wrong. So that's the thing, right? Constantly being fooled. A lot of you who are white and especially conservative, are you guys tired of being played by oligarchs? Are you tired of being played? You're poor too. You're broke too. Your rent has went up too. How's your health care doing? How's your wages? Your neighbor that has lived in this country for 20, 25 years, been a great neighbor. Oh, wait, they got deported? Even though they were moved here ever since they were a little kid? Yeah. But Elon Musk bought Twitter. He's going to stick it to the soy boys, right? He's going to stick it to the libs. He's going to own the libs. Meanwhile, the libs and the conservatives, like the Walkers, like the Trumps, like the Bobarts, they're all working with the libs to own you. That's right. You're getting owned. Because the same people that you think is going to help you guys get freedom, they're working with the libs. They're working with the libs so that the oligarchs own you. And yet you sit here praising the oligarchs. Oh, they earned their money. And then when you guys actually want more freedoms, they're willing to get their goons, the boys in blue, who you guys support, to bash your heads in. Are you done being played? Are you done? What threat am I to you? No, for real. What threat am I to you? As a gay black man, what threat am I to you? The fact that I want you guys to never have to go homeless. The fact that I actually want you guys to never have to worry about healthcare issues ever. The fact that I think that you as a worker deserve to have a democratic say in your job, and you deserve the surplus wage, the surplus labor that you have worked hard and earned, that you should get the fruits of your labor as a worker. The fact that I actually want the countries that we actually have the drug war going on in to stop our sanctions so that people won't have to leave their countries to come here as refugees. Come on now. Are you tired of being played, yo? Are you? Don't be so masochistic, y'all. Thank you, Creative Experiments. All right, so let me go to make sure Rockfin as well. Because, oh, come on. Work faster. All right, let's go to Rockfin really quick into the chat. Okay, actually, let me enlarge this. Okay. All right, thank you, Krampus, says Fetterman 2024 per MSNBC. Laura Baza, thank you so much for the tip on Rockfin as well, Lauren. Thank you so very much. Roger Meadows, thanks for the tip on Rockfin. Roger says this is not directed at you or the family, but for the Democratic Party. Here's a clue. It ain't on the ballot unless it's on the ballot. Vote ballot initiatives, people. Georgians, use your leverage to get what was promised and then demand another $2,000 before runoff. Ooh. Agreed, Roger. It ain't on the ballot until it's on the ballot. If you don't see it written in black and white on that ballot, then it's not on the ballot. They'll be like, oh, well, you know, Roe v. Wade is on the ballot. No, it's not. It never was. The thing that they're trying to tell you is the people who would vote to codify Roe v. Wade into law would be on the ballot. But the thing is that they're not willing to codify Roe v. Wade into law, because if they did, then that means that their fundraising tool would actually be taken away. So therefore, they would not get as much money because it would no longer be a threat to you, which means you would not be scared into voting for or giving $27 to their Act Blue. Do you understand? Do you peep the game? Do you peep it? Because that's the thing. All this hand-wringing about what the Democratic Party is doing, and all this hand-wringing and fear-mongering about critical race theory and all that stuff, they're literally fundraising off your fears so that you will keep voting for them. Are you tired of being played by both parties? Are you tired? Fetterman said he lied. He lied. Oh, well, I'm against fracking. He's actually told that to Savage Joy. Friend to the show, Savage Joy? Yeah, he told her he's against fracking. Then he lied. He lied to her. And he said, well, I'm pro-fracking. That's why they call him Frackerman. What, the frack? Yes, Frackerman. And so everybody's like, oh, vote for Democrats if you believe in science. Well, apparently the Democrats don't believe in science either, because Joe Biden believes in fracking. John Fetterman believes in fracking. A whole lot of them believe in fracking. And then you guys want to talk about, oh, well, Roe v. Wade is on the ballot. Yet you've had people like Clyburn and Pelosi travel all the way to Texas to endorse, what's this fucker's name? Oh my God. Henry Cuellar. They endorsed Cuellar, who is a pro-forced birth, anti-choice Democrat, instead of Jessica Cisneros. Do you really think that they're actually for your right to choose? No, they never were. Are you done being played? Yo, real talk. Like, for instance, why in the hell would I go to one of those KFC / Kentucky Fried Chicken establishments? You know, especially they're a lot closer to the hood. They have the KFC / the Kentucky Fried Chicken because they're owned by the same company. You go in there and you're like, oh man, I don't like the way these people who are in the KFC are treating me. So I'm going to move over to the right just a little bit and in order for these same exact people and order a pizza from them instead of the KFC, even though it's owned by the same franchisee and is ran by the exact same people, and yet you're going to show them who's boss by just moving over to the side. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Don't let them play you for a fool, man. Now, Roger Meadows touched on ballot initiatives, which is really good. So let's do this. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? I had it. I hate when I lose my spot. Florida Amendment. Oh, got it. Okay. I'm getting old, y'all. I'm 38. All right, so let's go here. Yeah, that's it. All right, Ballotpedia. Great site to get acquainted with. Ballotpedia shows a lot. So as far as ballot measures, we're going to go and look at some of the ballot measures. So these are going to be some of the losses and victories for ballot measures. Ballot measures are a more direct democracy way of getting things passed. It kind of circumvents having to go through the representative and go straight to the people and they vote on it. Depending on the state, some states are you need at least a 50+1 majority in order for it to pass. For other states like Florida, you have to have 60, unfortunately. So it's a little bit more of a ground you have to gain when it comes to certain ballot initiatives. But starting here for marijuana, we have good news. So Missouri Amendment 3 says marijuana legalization initiative says yes vote supported the amending Missouri Constitution to legalize the purchase, possession, consumption, use, delivery, manufacture, and sale for marijuana for personal use for adults over the age of 21. Allow individuals with certain marijuana-related offenses to petition to release from prison or parole and probation to have their records expunged and enact a 6% tax on the retail price of recreational marijuana. A no vote basically opposes it. So it passed. It passed. Okay, wait. Let me make sure I got this thing. Yep, I got it enlarged. Okay, cool. It passed. So now recreational marijuana, also the state, the home state of Nick, part of RBN, now has marijuana is going to be legalized. I think this probably goes into effect probably January 1st. Typically, these things go into effect on January 1st. I'm not exactly sure if it does, but even still, that is good. So now marijuana legalization is passed. It passed with a 53.1% for yes against a 46.89% said no, but it passed. So that is great. Great news for Missouri regarding marijuana. Now, when we go to things like minimum wage, is this too small for you guys? Hang on. Let me make sure. Sorry. I'm doing all this talking and okay. So minimum wage, Nebraska Initiative 433 minimum wage increase initiative. A yes vote supported this ballot initiative to incrementally increase the state's minimum wage from $9 an hour to $15 an hour by 2026 and annually adjust the minimum wage thereafter by the cost of living. No vote basically is against it. Basically, it'll keep everything at $9 an hour. So Nebraska, it actually passed at 58.19%. It passed, so they will be increasing over the next few years up until 2026. So in about 4 years, they'll be increasing the minimum wage in Nebraska from $9 an hour to $15 an hour, which I will say $15 an hour is still wholly inadequate, but it is a step in the right direction. This is why ballot initiatives are important. And if you think you can do this by ballot initiative, then there are some other things that can be done as well. Roger Meadows, who I would argue is a wonderful resource for talking about these different things. If you guys do not follow Roger Meadows, y'all need to get acquainted and start following him on Twitter, because Roger Meadows is basically an encyclopedia who I am very grateful for. Now, let's go to drug crime policy and healthcare. I think this one is also a positive one that I saw. This one's Colorado. I can't talk today. Colorado Proposition 122, decriminalization and regulated access program for certain psychedelic plants and fungi initiative. So this one says a yes vote supported the following: defining certain psychedelic plants and fungi as natural medicine, including dimethyltryptamine, I hope I said that right, DMT, ibogaine, mescaline, including peyote, psilocybin, psilocin, decriminalizing the personal use, possession, growth, and transport of natural medicines for persons 21 years old and older, and creating a regulated natural medicine access program for licensed healing centers to administer natural medicine services. And the no vote basically is against it. Guess what? It does not say whether it passed or not, but the percentage is 51.4%, which is a yes. No is 48.59%. So I'm hoping that this passes, because I personally think that all drugs should be legalized, because the thing is that the drug war is just horrible. Or at least just decriminalize it so that people aren't being needlessly thrown into the prison industrial complex for, victimless crimes. Abortion. Michigan, Proposal 3, Right to Reproductive Freedom Initiative. So a yes vote supported the providing the state constitutional right to reproductive freedom, which is defined as the right to make and effectuate decisions about all matters relating to pregnancy, including but not limited to prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, contraception, sterilization, abortion care, miscarriage management, and infertility care. And a no vote basically is against all of that. Well, that passed at 56.66% against the no's at 43.34%. And then there was another one in Kentucky. A yes vote supports amending the Kentucky Constitution to state that nothing in the state constitution creates a right to abortion or requires government funding for abortion. No vote says opposing the amendment Kentucky Constitution to state that nothing in the state constitution creates a right to abortion or creates government funding for abortion. So a no vote. No vote passed at 52.38%. This one's interesting. Alabama recompiled Constitution ratification question. Now, this is under the Constitutions. Says a yes vote supported ratifying the Constitution of Alabama in 2022, an updated and recompiled state constitution that was drafted to do the following: arrange it in proper articles, parts, and sections. This one's interesting. Remove all racist language. Delete duplicative and repeal provisions, consolidate provisions regarding economic development, and arrange all local amendments by county and application. So this one passed at 76.49%. That's a huge, huge margin. So when it comes to ballot initiatives, they can have very great results that actually help people on a very tangible and concrete level. So, it depends. Now, if we can go back to Florida, let me stop sharing really quick. Oh boy. So Florida had a few. It's kind of, dare I say, convoluted. So this is Florida Amendment 2, abolish the Constitution Revision Commission measure. Basically, this was I'll just read it. It says a yes vote support abolishing the Florida Constitution Revision Commission, a 37-member commission that meets every 20 years to propose changes to the state's constitution and refer them to statewide ballot for vote approval or rejection. A no vote basically keeps that 37-member commission in place. A no vote passed. So the 37-member commission replaced. Even though the yeses are 53.95% against no's at 46.05%, because it hasn't reached over 60%, the no's stays. That's Florida for you. So it has to have at least 60% in Florida. That's the way it is here in Florida. So unfortunately, we still have to have that commission. Let me see. The next one is, I skipped over Amendment 1. I'm sorry. Amendment 1 is disregard flood resistance improvements and property value assessments. So basically, whether property value is going to be assessed, whether flood improvements, resistant improvements is going to factor in the property values or not. So a yes vote supports the authorizing the state legislature to pass laws prohibiting flood-resistant improvements to a home from being taken into consideration when determining a property's assessed value for property tax purposes. A no vote opposed the amendment, thereby continuing to allow flood resistance improvements to a home to be taken into consideration when determining a property's assessed value for property tax purposes. So no's won. So whenever you assess a property's value when it comes to tax purposes, if it has flood improvements, things like that, then that is going to be factored in for the property's value as well as tax purposes here in Florida. And then I think there's one more. And Amendment 3. And Amendment 3 says additional homestead property tax exemption for certain public service workers. So basically, this is a tax exemption for people who work in the public sector. So a yes vote authorizing Florida state legislature to provide an additional homestead property tax exemption on $50,000 of assessed value on property owned by certain public service workers, including teachers, law enforcement officers, emergency medical personnel, active duty members of the military and Florida National Guard, and child welfare service employees. And so a no would basically mean that they would not be exempt from, homestead tax. And the no's won, even though it almost hit 60%. I would love to see teachers and, say, firefighters get exempt from, a certain percentage of their taxes on their, if they own a home, just so that they wouldn't have to pay for it, because they're literally doing, essential work for the people in the state. If you're saving my home from a fire, or if you're teaching our children, I think you deserve a break. But apparently, it didn't get enough votes to hit that 60% threshold, which I would have voted yes for this. Damn. So that's some of the wins and losses as far as voting is concerned. Let me go here. I think there's something I also wanted to take a look at. I wanted to show you guys. I think Sabby is going to be talking about it this evening as well. But I really wanted to also show this to you guys too. I think Sabby will expand upon it on her show. And I think Sabby goes live in about a little more than a half an hour from now. But this is also really good news that I want to share. So, Sabby says, breaking news, single-payer healthcare passed in all 20 districts in Massachusetts. This is just the beginning. The fight is not over yet. If this is true, if this is legit, this is massive. Massachusetts campaign for single-payer healthcare, if this goes into effect, this would be massive. Single-payer healthcare, this is a crack. So, look, to y'all who are in Massachusetts, number one, congratulations. Congratulations to all y'all in Massachusetts. I can't wait to see this come into effect, and I can't wait to see this actually bring up the living conditions for everybody in Massachusetts. Like, this is a win that I actually wanted to also show on here. Sabby, I will be watching you live. If you're watching, I will be watching you live as well, and I'll be cheering you on. If this actually truly is what I think it is. Right? So, look. Like I said, if y'all haven't started following, people, if y'all haven't started following Sabby, y'all haven't started following people like Roger Meadows, y'all get on it. By the way, have you guys subscribed to my channel yet? If you guys like, my coverage and my commentary, subscribe to the channel. Anywho, so that was some great news that I just wanted to also touch on. This happened. She posted this right before I went live. So yo, clap it up for Massachusetts. All right. So another thing that I also want to touch on, and this is also another victory, because I want this stream to also have notes of positivity. Before I go to this other part, and then we're also going to have a little bit of a laugh too, but we'll get into that in a second. But I also want to get into another part. Before I do that, let's go to the chats. Okay, let's talk to some of y'all, because y'all got some good things to say. John K. Hey, John, good to see you. Says in Colorado, it's simple majority for propositions, 55% or over 50% of all ballots for amendments. Okay, thank you so much. Wadi says the amount of ads that tend to come out against various ballot initiatives that attempt to confuse the issue have been taken into account, regardless of the way the BI is worded. Yeah, and they'll put a lot of confusing language just so that it keeps you from actually voting in your best interests. Yeah, comps qualify for those tax exemptions as well. Like they actually need it. I don't give a shit about them. But I rather the tax exemptions, even though it would go to them, it's also going to firefighters and teachers and people who are in education and people who save lives, actually save lives, not police officers, but people like that. And so I even though it would benefit them, I say the benefits outweigh the disadvantages, because I would love to at least see teachers get a break. I would love to see educators get a break, because they get shit on so much, and I hate to see it. But yeah, you're all right. I am Lux. All right. Creative Experience says, having an argument with my mom. She's saying that having free healthcare with copays, and I'm telling her copay is not free. Creative Experiments mom, if you have to pay a copay, it's not free. And the thing is that single payer healthcare isn't free either, but the amount that you have to pay overall is actually cheaper than healthcare that you have to pay that's privatized, because you have everybody in the pool and everybody will be paying into it, and it's tax heavier on the most wealthy and the rich. So therefore, you're paying less for your healthcare than even with private healthcare insurance. And on top of it, you don't have to worry about deductibles. You don't have to worry about any of this other BS. You just go to the doctor and get treated. Remember the movie John Q? Remember when he said, sick, help. Sick, help. That's what that's going to be. Now, I personally want a fully nationalized healthcare system, but a single-payer healthcare system is in the right direction. That's why I'm more in a celebratory mood for Massachusetts. Yes, Mouse did. Way to go, Mass. Way to go, guys. You guys did it. Hello, Angela. Good to see you. All right. Nicole says, I honestly believe every state would pass it if it was available. I think so. I think it could. The problem is that we have to get past, like, some states are not ballot initiative states, so that's tough on them. Other states that are, we can try to push for it. And, people like Roger Meadows have, explained to us how that can be done. So, and the thing is that ballot initiatives, we have 2 years to get to get them on the ballot, because 2024 is coming up. But if you want to get it on the ballot, you actually have to start now in order to help that happen. So if you're in a ballot initiative state, and if you want to try to see if you can get single payer healthcare at least in your state on the ballot, then start now, so that by 2024 you can bubble that in and boom, and start having organization to get people to realize, because the thing is that single payer healthcare is extremely popular even amongst conservatives. So guess what? The odds of it actually happening through ballot initiative are massive, because really people are economically left just naturally. Naturally, people are economically left. So go into those hoods. Go into those hoods, whether they be black hoods, white hoods, Asian hoods, Latino hoods. Go into the hoods. Get people registered if you need to, and be like, look, I don't care. You guys don't even need to vote for any particular person in office. Just come and vote in the ballot initiative and make your way out. Go bubble that, even if it's just that one ballot initiative, just bubble that in, make your voice heard, and then go. And then jet. You don't like anybody who's running? Fine, go ahead. Don't vote for them, but vote for that ballot initiative, and boom. You guys can, and this is a way that you can get around the two-party system. Yes, O'Connor, congratulations to Massachusetts. Right? Hello, Steve Cutler says there are over 300 towns in Mass. And Lucky Burrito, good to see you, says it only passed in 20 towns. It was not on the ballot for the entire state. What does that mean? So you're saying that it wasn't, it's not going to be for all of Massachusetts? Oh, it still has to be passed on to the state. Okay. Well, hopefully. I mean, that's a hurdle that has went over. I am Lux says often those tax exemptions put more cops into poor neighborhoods. Yeah, unfortunately, like we don't want them in our poor neighborhoods. Yipper99, good to see you, Yipper, says don't forget EMTs because they are not funded well. The patients have to split the bill if the insurances don't. Yeah, EMTs are and paramedics are also extremely important. And they just do not get they also don't get what they deserve at all either. And look, I'll put it this way. If I had it my way, number one, our healthcare system would be completely nationalized. Also, meaning that the EMTs and paramedics would also be part of that nationalization, and the EMTs and paramedics would be paid handsomely for the work that they do because they're literally saving lives. They're literally saving lives each and every day, and they do some hard work, and so like. They easily be making six figures, easily, because they're literally preserving and sustaining somebody's life on the way to the hospital. Like, holy shit. Like, for real, for real. So, yeah, that's honestly what I think about EMTs and paramedics. And I don't know about other states, but I know here in the state of Florida, especially in Orange County as well as in Orlando, all firefighters are all paramedics. All of our firefighters are paramedics too. So, yeah. And thanks for giving us that breakdown, Lucky Burrito. Appreciate it very much. Wait, Catcherell says King Chuck and Camilla got engaged today, FYI. I never seen that happen to Rose before. I thought they just lopped their heads off and stuff. I thought they were already married. What are you talking about? Non-Zinzi says, can nationalized healthcare state-based get on the ballot? I don't know. I mean, if you can stationalize healthcare, I mean, maybe. But at the same time, it would be tougher because, and this is according to what I know about MMT, is that a state is a currency user, not a currency issuer. So therefore, it would be tougher because they literally would have to raise taxes in order to pay for these things. And the raising of taxes would have to be on the ultra rich, because raising taxes on those of us who are working and poor, that just won't work. But I mean, if you can raise the taxes on the ultra rich in your state, yeah. But there are certain states that have more super wealthy people than others. Like that can happen in California, and that can happen maybe here in Florida. and in New York. But what about Wyoming? And what about, Nebraska? And what about South Dakota? So how many super rich people do you have that you can raise that much in taxes on? Yeah. So, there's a couple of, I also want to thank JM. Did I thank you for this? Thanks again, JM, for the super sticker. Sim Metzger, who is also a JB member, says, Plato's, you are definitely a threat. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Thank you for the chat as well. And let's go to Rockfin, the chat in Rockfin as well. Laura Beza says, you're welcome. Dialysis is hard, and I have family members who have to go through it. Take care. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Roger Meadows, thank you for the tip on Rockfin. Says, yes, Alabama. Don't let the propaganda fool you. Just because voters vote for red or blue humans don't always mean they want their policies. Peep this. Go back to Alabama and read Amendment 2. Roger says, the way it was explained to me directly by Mass Care when I called them up during the spring to get them on SAB show was it's not a ballot initiative for a law in Massachusetts. It was a question that you can use it as leverage for voters to present it to their state lawmakers to say your constituents want this. You already have the Massachusetts Medicare for All sitting in committee. Just pass it into law. Okay. Thank you so much, Roger. All right. Hang on. You said Alabama Amendment 2. Let me see. Oh, wait, that was under Constitution. Alabama Amendment 2. Let's take a look at that because Roger, let me see. Ballot measures. I said okay. Amendment 2 says Oh. Am I sharing? Hang on. Oh no. Hang on. Let me see. Wait. I think Roger just hit on something. Hang on. Let me take a look. This is interesting. Hang on. It says Alabama Amendment to Broadband Internet Infrastructure Funding Amendment. A yes vote supports allowing the state and local governments to grant federal award funds and other state designated broadband funds to public or private entities to provide or expand broadband internet infrastructure. A no basically opposes that. It won at 78.56%. Damn, Alabama. Well, Alabama. What? Wow. Okay. I see what you mean, Roger. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Thanks for that. Okay. All right. So one more thing I wanted to touch on. And this is a good news story. And then we're going to laugh at the end. Okay. So let me take that away. Take that away. Take that away. And then we take that away too. Okay. All right. All right. So let me share my screen. So this is going to be a good news story. So this is from the People's City Council, Los Angeles. It says, history made. Kenneth Mejia delivers his victory speech. This was a campaign run by the people, the youth, and those left out by a traditional political process, and we won. A 31-year-old housing activist just took down a career politician backed by the establishment and cops. We have a victory of a Green Party member, people. Let's go.
I just want to say, you know, this is probably the greatest experience moment in my life so far. Yes. So far, you know, this is happy birthday. You know, I never really celebrate birthdays because there's always an election, but this is the best damn birthday gift ever. We started this campaign in November 2020. So it's been about 2 years, exactly 2 years. So it's been a long, long time. I never thought I'd get into politics in my life. You know, I was an accountant. Shout out to my dad, who's an accountant too. Like, why did I do that? And then fast forward to like 2017, there was a special election. And I ran for Congress as a Green, and then I ran for 2018 as a Green, and I got the most votes as a Green against a Democrat in Congress. And I was like, damn, I think, you know what, maybe I'll quit politics. And so 2018 stopped, and then I see this position opening up in 2022 for city controller. And I'm like, this is the city's accountant and auditor. And I'm like, who's running? Who's running? And I look and I see, oh, there's this council member. I never heard of him. So I was like, you know what? I hit up Jane. I'm like, hey Jane, you wanna do some graphics? And then ended up she ended up being a campaign manager. And I'm like, you know, I think this is a good win for us. I think, you know, no one knows him. He has no accounting experience. This is my profession, CPA profession. And so we did it, and we launched. And who knows the day? Any big fans know the day? We got people, and I come from, you know, an organizing background. Shout out to the LA 10 team. Hey. Shout out to all the people out there who are organizing around homelessness. Y'all know who you are. And that's sort of how I got more involved with homelessness and housing and tenants' rights. And the many people on our team are those same types of people like me who organize around some certain issue. Raise your hand if you're an organizer. Then look around the room. Look around the room. These organizers are not out of touch Dem consultants. No, right?
Losers. Fuck you, Cat. Fuck you, Cat.
Not out of touch Dem consultants there.
Just to put that in perspective, look, what he said, they were all organizers. And what is something that a lot of us talk about? Like, for instance, on RBN, what does Savvy Sabs talk about a lot? They talk about going local, right? You literally have a young man that ran as a Green, that continued to run as a Green locally, and he won, city comptroller. And now he's going to be over the city's budget and city's city's accountant. So that's going to help. And then who else could he actually assist into coming in to the local government too? And you know he's going to be doing a good job because of what he did in order to get that win. And as we go forward, you're going to hear what he did. And this is going to inspire you even more. So even if, for instance, you're saying, oh, well, I want someone, I'm slightly for electoral politics. Well, let's focus on local, right? Let's focus on local and state, because you actually can affect real change for the people within that area. You may not be able to go fully national, but you can at least change the lives of people in your local area and give them some tangible benefits. Let's continue.
They're organizers, they're youth activists. They're people who just graduated high school, Kyler. Kyler. We had two big of these bold ideas that, we couldn't push it through. No one's gonna take us seriously. But then June 7th came. Who remembers June 7th? We proved everyone wrong, and now everyone's like, okay, let's take this guy seriously now. Out of control! Out of control! Out of control! Hey, one was me shouting, yelling, and then one was me with a mask on. We talked about the resources we created, a map of all affordable housing units, a map of all city parks, and we did an analysis on park space, a map and analysis on LAPD stops and what race they stopped the most. We did a map on parking tickets. We did an entire payroll database that shows you how much City of LA employees make. And we made a budget website so people can understand the city's budget better. Those are just some of the things we did, but I just want to give a huge shout out to Kyler for making it. Like I said, Kyler just graduated high school last year, and then the way he found out about me was on TikTok because I was twerking. Right? People laugh at that, but we wouldn't have never met Kyler if it wasn't through these ways. But resources that Kyler made, that we made, that really helped people. We did classes teaching people how to file their tax returns, especially our unhoused neighbors who missed their stimulus checks. And we would do classes teaching people, hey, this is how you can help them with their 1040. We help people get thousands of dollars. We help people apply for Section 8. Shout out to Vincent and Vanessa. They helped us.
Mutual aid. They did mutual aid as part of their campaign. And that's what also put them over the top. What have we been telling y'all? Right? Look, if you're somebody who's young, who's like, oh man, I don't know how to do it. Look, this guy did it. And he did it through mutual aid, creating resources that actually help people and improve their material conditions in their lives. If you do that, then guess what? People are going to think, oh, this person's very servant-minded. They're not in it just for a career. They're actually doing it for the people. And that means doing it for people before you even get into office. So that's what it was. And even still, even if you aren't for electoral politics, fine. But you still could do the same things that this young man did without having to run for office. But that's what he did. And he won. And I hope that I can get this young man on so that we can talk to him about the things that he did to succeed and about helping others in order to succeed, as third party or independents within, their city, their county, their state, in order to create real meaningful change and build a dual power so that we can actually have some material conditions that improve people's lives. So, yeah. So that was something that was great. Congratulations to Kenneth Miha, I think his name is. Yeah, Kenneth Miha. So congratulations to him on his win. Now, I think I had a super chat. Yes. Roger Meadows says go to Rockfin. Okay. So I'm going to go to Rockfin really quick, and then we're going to end with some hilarity. Hilarity is going to ensue. So let's go to Rockfin because I am a little bit behind. All right. Also, let me take this super secret down really quick. Okay. So on Rockfin, Roger Meadows says, the way it was explained to me directly was mass carriers when I called them up during the spring to get them on SABs. Oh, okay. I already read that. Let me see. Roger says, states and municipalities don't have to raise taxes or create new taxes on anyone. That's the whole reason for public banks, because they're given license to print money by the federal government by taking in taxes and making them up, then issuing out lines of credit to finance infrastructure that grants state income tax for public sector jobs. It gets redeposited into public banks' low interest. It builds surplus. Thank you so much, Roger. Also, Laura says, JB, have you had Garland Nixon on your show before? I would love to see him on your show or Sabby's show. I have not, but I know he's a friend of RBN. That would be cool. I would like to have Garland Nixon on because he also has a lot of knowledge, regarding various different things, and wants to expand on resources for people in communities, instead of expanding the police state. So I would like to have him on too as well. So thank you so much for that, Laura. All right, so y'all ready to laugh? This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be kind of an update from Tuesday. Now, remember when I was talking about Matt Gaetz being on TYT? They had a meltdown. They had a meltdown. Oh, my Lord. Y'all going to laugh. Okay, if y'all haven't seen this yet, look. STFU Shitlib 2, they actually pulled this from their stream. So this is going to be fun. All right. Okay. So here they are talking to Matt Gaetz. Let's go. Let's just go.
By the way, Matt, you can tell from your answers, you don't believe it either. It's super obvious you don't believe it.
But yeah, I can tell by your questions, you guys still have no message, because instead of talking about how we're going to actually move the country forward, you guys are still obsessed about the 2020
No,
election.
Matt, I'm not a regular Democrat. I don't care about their messaging.
Yes, you are, Chink. Yes, you are. You are a regular Democrat. Stop lying. Anyway, let's go.
What I care about is if your friend Donald Trump wins in 2024, we might never have another election because he's an obvious pathological liar, doesn't believe in democracy, didn't want to leave even though he lost the election, and you know it.
Jake, the last time you were on the ballot, you got 4% of the vote. So for you,
So what? What does that have to do with anything that we're talking about right now?
Okay, Matt, if we're going in that direction, listen, you had sex with a 17-year-old, according to allegations, and you asked for a pardon. Hold on. You asked for a pardon. You asked for a pardon. Why did you ask for the pardon?
Yeah, why did you ask Trump for a pardon
Why
if you
ask
didn't
for the pardon
break any
if you were
laws?
sleeping with a 17-year-old?
You guys are in some sort of weird struggle session there, and I'm just glad. even though the internet hated you having me on. Cenk, you're getting to see what a congressional victory party looks like, and that's something that might be a novel experience.
Why did you ask for a pardon for having sex with a 17-year-old?
Something that even happened. You're like reading into an anonymous internet conspiracy, and it's really sad because in my district, the voters saw through that. In my state, we're overwhelmed.
Did you ask for the pardon?
That has all been debunked. I've addressed it. President Trump has
Oh my God.
addressed
Really?
it. And by the way, you should look at your own comments about women that caused Bernie Sanders to unendorse you. Imagine being so aligned with Bernie Sanders that he would endorse you, but he has to pull his endorsement because the things that you said were so
Yeah.
Well,
That's true. That's also true. Damn.
Well, Matt, see, some people grow up and they change. Others send their colleagues in Congress nude photos of women that they've slept with today, and are hated by members of their own party, which there are numerous reports about that.
You know, keep
So,
sensitive about
but I
guys.
appreciate you coming on to answer our questions.
People who told those lies
Did
are
your
going to the
father
bin.
by any chance get
They were
involved?
not lies,
in
Matt,
a
and you know it.
investigation
Dude, it's no wonder you guys don't have the trust of the voters because you guys sit here and just spew this nonsense that isn't relevant to people's lives. We're going to focus on inflation. We're going to focus on the border. We're going to focus on investigations. And the result is we're going to win in 2024. Democracy will be fine, and you guys will still be crying on the Young Turks.
Did you never answered the question. Did you sleep with a 17?
Absolutely not. That has been totally debunked. And by the way, more women have made accusations against Joe Biden than have made accusations against me.
That's all. Yikes. That's also true. Anybody want to talk to Tara Reid? She got some credible accusations. I'm telling you.
We've talked about them.
You should be really proud of that.
Well,
Okay.
my number is 0. You can't even keep Bernie Sanders' endorsement, and Joe Biden doesn't exactly have a clean record himself. So we're pretty happy here in the Sunshine State. One Miami-Dade County, one my district. Looks like the House and Senate will flip, and eager to get to Washington and get to work.
Yeah. By the way, there was one difference between us. The Democratic Party did not support me because I am against their corruption. Whereas you kissed the ass of the Republican leaders 24/7, so they were very happy to support you.
Oh, come on, Cenk. You both kissed the asses of the Democratic and Republican parties. You both did. Like, come on. Come on, man.
Couldn't even hold Bernie. He endorsed you and had to unendorse you. Like, do you think Bernie is all of a sudden the establishment of the Democratic Party? He's not even a Democrat, and he left you on the side of the road with your 4%.
And Bernie's a Democrat. He's just a Democrat with an I next to his name. Let's just be real. And by the way, Matt Gaetz, you can't taste shit. Matt Gaetz can't say a damn thing. Anyway.
Matt, I don't care about my personal career at all. I told Bernie to do that. I actually wanted Bernie to win that election really badly, and I didn't want to get in his way because I care about policies. I care about higher wages. I care about everybody in the country getting health insurance. I care about them getting paid family leave. I care about them.
No, you don't, because if you did, then you actually would have supported Forced to Vote, but you didn't. Why you always lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop freaking lying.
Them getting child tax credit. And what I heard from you tonight is when you guys win, you're not going to do anything about wages. You're going to make sure that people do not get any help in the categories that I just mentioned.
No,
so
wages
we're
will
going
go
to be
in
in
The
very
real
dark
evil is Medicaid,
times
to be
when
fair.
you guys win.
The real evil in the country is Medicaid.
And
Gotta
now the
do
American
something
people
about
are going to get something in the Republican majority.
And the funny thing is, according to what the Democrats have been fighting for, or lack thereof, they're not fighting for any of that either. So what is Cenk talking about? See, that's the thing. It's a cognitive dissonance for me. But anywho, look, I'm done. These people. Anywho, by the way, did you guys laugh? I hope you did. Hope y'all get a good laugh out of it because they basically melted down like a mug. But by the way, the reading will be uploaded tomorrow. So are you excited? I'm excited. Guess what? Make sure to, make sure to subscribe so that you get alerts so that when readings for the books of Asada Shakur are up, I did the first reading. I read both forwards and chapter 1. This is going to be very interesting. It's going to be kind of deep. Also, trigger warning to anybody who doesn't like to hear about torture or doesn't like to hear about anything that is really, emotionally draining. I might skip that. But this is very deep and very telling. So if you guys have not subscribed, then please make sure to subscribe. Click the link bell because I also do readings of this. I finished Blood in My Eye by George Jackson earlier this week. So that's up on Raffin exclusively. And also I'll be doing this weekend reading for Dirty Jews by Michael Parenti. I'll be finishing that up as well so that you guys can actually tune into that. And thank you to all the patrons on Patreon, the people on Coffee. Thank you for all the super chats. I think I got to every single super chat, so I'm glad. And yes, so good to see all of you here in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. What are your plans? What are yourselves? Leave the world better than you found it. I think Sabby already started, so make sure to go over to Sabby Sab's channel to support her. All 44 of y'all, go over to Sabby Sabs, all right? And I'll see y'all over there. I'm about to make some dinner, though, because I'm hungry as a mug. Anywho, water your plants, water yourselves, leave the world better than you found it. Smoke them if you got them, drink them if you got them. If you don't got them, then make sure to laugh, because laughing and joy is revolutionary. Revolutionary. And, hey, if you're in Missouri, congratulations, because you can literally smoke him if you got him. Ain't nobody can do nothing about it. Forehead kisses to every single one of y'all. Bye. Clap your hands and make a wish.